Day one. All right, now, today's a skill day. All right, so coach is going to break you guys up and they're going to put you in different drills that will do kind of parts of the offense. All right, we're not learning the offense today, but we're going to put you in ball handling, we're going to put you in passing, we're going to put you in finishing, we're going to put you in shooting drills that kind of emulate what we do systematically. The coaches will be calling out certain things, so they're going to give you some terminology that you'll be able to use later because you'll remember what it is and how we're doing what we're doing. So be a good listener, all right? Everything that we do, try to go as hard as you can, okay? We're not in great shape right now. We know we got to get in shape. We're going to give you breaks. We're going to give you time to recover, but don't do anything half speed. Try to go as hard as you can, make it game-like, all right? All right, here we go. Go.
Hey, hard work on 3, family on 6. 1, 2, 3.
Hard work.
4, 5, 6,
7. Here we go.
I forgot how to say it. Come on, man. I'm used to just saying it.
We don't stop at red lights. One life, living for the night, yo. Ain't no ceiling too high. I got no limit on the card. In the car, match the bar. Driving through the road with no just a cool
What's up, Flyer Nation? I'm Bryce Hurd. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a guard wearing number 10 this year. I chose Dayton because of the coaching staff. It felt like home when I first got on campus. You know, the fans also, like, seeing the games are always sold out. That's somewhere I want to be at. I first knew, like, midway through the visit, seeing what the plan was for me and for this team and seeing how the team was being built. And I want to win this year, so seeing the people that's here, how I could fit in with those guys, it was a big thing for me. When I told the coaches I was committing, they were excited. You know, coach gave me a big hug and stuff like that, so it was good. It was a great reaction.
You know, Bryce is a hard worker. You know, every time I see him, he's putting in the work. He has a smile on his face as well. So,
Bryce is a really good athlete, guy who's going to work his tail off on the court. He's crashing the glass. He's doing kind of all those things. Also been in college for a year at this point, so he kind of knows the ropes a little bit, but is still learning kind of what we do.
It's been great to be around the guys, talk, you know, start building relationships for this year, and you know, I think everybody has the same goal of winning. I love to compete, try to win everything I can, so can't wait to, you know, get in the gym with them and compete every day. What I do off the court? I like to watch movies all the time. You know, every time there's a good movie in the movie theaters, I like to go. My favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future. That whole series is just great, seeing that. And then recently, watching Sinners, that's one of the best movies that's came out recently in the last couple years. So that and Who Cloned Tyrone on Netflix, that was interesting. Like I'm into conspiracy theories and stuff like that, so that one's a good one. You know, the first a couple runs we had, I think Jordan impressed me the most. Seeing his unselfishness and how smart he is as a basketball player. You don't really see that stuff on video, but seeing that in person, it definitely shows how smart of a basketball player he is, for sure.
What's up, Flyer Nation? My name is Jordan Durkak. I'll be wearing number 4 this year, and I'll be playing guard. And there's a lot of reasons why I picked to chose to come to the University of Dayton. I think that the family aspect on my visit was big. I think that, I got recruited by all the coaches together. I feel like that was also, a positive for me, and the connections I had with Coach Anthony Grant on the visit was just superior to other ones I had. So ultimately, the family atmosphere, the fans, all of it together kind of led up to a decision.
Yeah, so it kind of like started. I was sitting in Henderson office, and we were just talking and stuff like that, and then Greer came in and he was asking me, like, it was right when the season ended and the transfer portal opened. He was like, you need to like try to send me some players or stuff like that you think that could help us win some championships. And ironically, I said Jordan Durkak, and then basically 2 weeks later, Jordan calls me. He's like, yo, like I'm coming on a visit. I was like, no way, like this is crazy and stuff like that. So he came here, got on a visit, and basically committed on the spot. When he saw everything in here, and he said he liked what he saw. And then when I heard that, I was ecstatic, because I know, when we first were together, we won a regular season and a tournament championship. So having him back and, kind of knowing what to expect from him as an everyday guy, it was huge to hear that he committed.
He tried his best to stay out of, the recruiting process, and, he hit me up to talk about it, but, we had dinner on my visit. We went back to his place and kind of just hung out and talked about, his goals for next season, and our goals kind of aligned winning wise, and how he wanted to work this last season. So he definitely played a factor in it for sure. I committed on my visit. We had all day one day, and then the second day walking around and stuff, and then they had practice or a workout. So I told Coach Grant during one of their workouts, and he was obviously super excited, hugging me and my family and stuff. I got to tell, the players when they were working out, Javon was all sweaty and hugging my parents and stuff, and he was all gross. So it was great to let everybody know in person. I feel like, to go home and tell everybody on the phone would have been cool, but to do it in person, there's nothing like it, the joy, seeing all the coaches running around and stuff, and how energetic that workout was. So. I think that, I don't model my game after anybody in particular. I like watching, but, I love, my favorite two players of all time, Russell Westbrook and Allen Iverson. I think Russell Westbrook's intensity and, effort on the court, is superior to anybody I've seen. I think that, if I'm taking anything from anybody in the NBA, I would like to take, his tenacity and, the way he plays. I think that, what to expect from me on the court is kind of similar. I think that, I'm gonna do my best to, compete and, try to win games as many as possible and do whatever it takes, whether that's, getting people open, getting good shots for people. Ultimately, I think that's one of my bigger strengths is, getting the best shot ultimately for the team. Raj is my dad's best friend. So Raj and my dad went back, they went to college together, they were college roommates. Ultimately, my dad wound up marrying my mom, and, my mom's roommate winded up being Raj's wife. So, it's this kind of divine triangle of love down in there at Florida International. But I think that, he's been such a big part of my life. I could not include him as my favorite player of all time. He's the guy I've watched the most. He's the guy, I've been to the games and seen him. And not only is he, a big part of my life, so he's my favorite player, but, just the way he plays, his heart on the court, his journey, I've learned so much about it, and, the way he had to, get through all these obstacles and, fight his way into the NBA. He went undrafted. So he just fought his way up to the top, had a 14-year, he's a 14-year NBA vet. He's played 14 years after going undrafted. It's kind of unheard of now. So, I think just his heart and overall, fight is just what, makes him my favorite player. I think, getting to know these guys and, competing obviously, but I think that, the summer is all about, getting to know, how does this guy like, the ball when it's passed to him, or how does Javon Bennett, where does he want to shoot from when I get it to him? So I think that ultimately getting a good feel for, where people are at, where people want to be, so I can put them in the best situations when, it counts in November.
is the 2019 Maui Jim Maui Invitational from where else but beautiful Maui. Anthony Edwards of Georgia, the freshman, was the #4 player in last year's high school class as rated by the ESPN 100, Paul Biancardi and his crew. And Anthony Edwards is an absolute star, an absolute star.
It's crazy, because my friends, they brag about it more than me. Like, they always send me things like this and that, but I'm like, yeah, but I think if I match up with them today, it'll be a little different. Honestly, as a team, we were just so confident that we didn't have any worries before any game. I think we knew we all had each other back, so it was easy to go into the game confident. You know, we trusted our schemes. Coach Grant he let me know how to play them, which way to play them, and I think I stuck to those, and it worked out well. For me, I just think it was just basketball. I didn't think anything of it. That's how I usually play. I don't be nervous. I usually just block everything out. So I didn't really have any thoughts. My adrenaline was just pumping, and I was just excited to play. I knew it was a great opportunity for us, for myself individually. You know, I just made the most out of it. Honestly, no. So after the game, my phone was blowing up. I was watching the highlights back, and I was like, dang, I did a pretty good job. You know, so I think after the game, that's when it kind of hit me. You know, I always get added and tagged in things, even from the 2020 season. Our game against Georgia, people always tag me and comment on that. After games, I see the Pro Loud always tweeting after my games and things I've accomplished and stuff like that. So, you know, I talked to Coach Greer, Coach Grant, you know, Coach Slow, all those guys, teammates still. So it still feels like we're still here, a family, and, you know, that's what I forever appreciate. It's a blessing, you know, just thinking about all the other coaches I've had, and I don't talk to them at all. So, you know, it's a blessing, I would say, to have a family who, you know, they sold me on that when I came here, and it still stands true. You know, the family, the orient, to be able to come back here and just see guys like you and familiar faces, it really means a lot, you know. It's a two-way street, though. You know, I reach out to them, they reach out to me. Just whatever time I can find to, you know, connect back, because I really appreciate them and the time I had here, so I think it's all genuine.
Hey, what's up, Flyer fans? Adam Jai here, point guard at University of Dayton. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I'll be wearing #5. I chose University of Dayton because it's a great program. It's very family orientated. They have a winning past as well. They have a very well structured program. They have a lot of NBA players, and I want to be the next one. I called Coach Grant and Coach Greer 2 days after the Zoom. It was a mutual relationship. We was both excited, and we was ready to get to work. Yeah, after I committed, I got a lot of love. I checked my requests. I seen like a bunch of people texting me, excited for me. So like, they showed a lot of love, and the community here is great. I went to the mall the other day, kids walking up to me asking for pictures. So like, they showing a lot of love here so far. I can't wait for the season to get going.
Adam's wiggle with the ball, you know, we've only played a couple runs, but his wiggle with the ball is just outrageous.
He's somebody, he's come in, he's worked really hard. He's been in the gym constantly whenever I come in. He's one of the hardest working guys we've got.
I say I'm out of my game after Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, Darius Garland, Bones Highland. Like, I take a little bit of things out of each of their game, and Flyers can expect me to be a great leader, a great playmaker, and just make the winning plays and impact winning. Off the court, I like to watch a lot of basketball videos. I like to go shopping. I like to hang out with friends, stuff like that, just chill for real. What I'm looking forward to most next week when things really get going is getting better and competing with my teammates, and just keep on pushing each other to get better so we can have a chance to make it to March Madness.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Malcolm Thomas. I'm a power forward. I'm going to be wearing #1. I chose UD because I built a great relationship with the family. It was an easy decision being on campus, being able to get to know the guys, getting to know the staff. Built a great relationship with Coach Grant, and all around just very excited to be a part of this family. I pretty much figured out I was going to commit while I was on my visit, and I really told Coach Grant before my visit was over. It just felt like the right place, and I was all the way eager and all the way tuned in. It was a great reaction. He dapped me up, gave me a hug. It was excitement, it was happiness, and just from both sides, just ready to get it all going. Some of my biggest role models in basketball have been my father, Kevin Durant, Obi Toppin, just a whole bunch of people that I've been able to pattern my game after, look up to, learn from, and just all around just look to learn. Seeing all the accomplishment Obi accomplished at Dayton just made me eager to get on the court. It made me want to really live up to this #1 that I'm putting on my back.
No, yeah, Malcolm is, he's a freak athlete. He has basically a 40-inch vert, and he's already 6'8". So just to be able to play with him, I'll definitely get some lobs this year to him. So just being able to see him and just make sure he grows in the right way and learns from Coach Grant and people that have been here before. So
I try to get out and run. I play defense. I can guard 1 through 5. I can score from all 3 levels and just get out there and do whatever I need to do to be successful. Off the court, I love to play video games. I love to watch anime. I love chilling with my family, spending time with the people that I love that are closest to me. Ooh, okay. Top 3 animes. I'm gonna go Death Note, Hunter x Hunter, Tokyo Ghoul.
Flyers down 1, Crutcher for the lead, he got it! 0.1 seconds left, Crutcher nails a 3 for the Dayton Flyers.
You remember that place though?
Definitely. I can't forget that. I remember that, I wanna say we was up 1. I think we was up 1 and we fouled. And they went to the free throw line. Yuri Collins, I remember he went to the free throw line and made both. And I think they were up 2 or 1 maybe. Yeah, they was up 1. And I just remember Trey, I think it was Trey Landers, he took the ball out, passed it to me. And Coach Grant called a play for me and Obi to come set a high ball screen for me. And that was it. He just said, set up high ball screen and, you just do your thing. And so I just got the high ball screen from Obi. I crossed over because I was going to go right, but I crossed over because I'm better shooting coming off my left hand. So I crossed over, and the guy kind of bumped me. And as he bumped me, I was going up to shoot it, but I thought they was going to call foul because he bumped me. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to rise up and shoot it. So they didn't call foul. I still rose up and shot it, and I made it, and I do this. That was it.
And that's it.
Man, it was
your ball game.
It was like I really couldn't think to celebrate or really what I wanted to do. It just came out. It just happened. I wasn't thinking okay, I'm about to say this, or it just happened. I made this shot and all the emotions just came out, and all my teammates ran to me. So it was a great feeling. To do that in that building and have everybody just get quiet like that, it was fun. That was fun to do it in there. I made a couple this year on my G League team, and they call me Crutcher there. So it's just they call me Crutcher here at Dayton, and it's just been carrying on. So I just got to keep that name going. Man, it's great, just being able to come back to your school, to your alum. So it's just great, having the support system Dayton has. I know a lot of people that I play with, they can't really just go back to their school here at Dayton like I can. So it's just a blessing that these great group of people here in Dayton. So it's great to have those guys to be able to come back and work out and help them with Mike being able to help you with your body, and Casey being able to help you with your body. It's just great. Coach Grant, Coach Kane, and Coach Greer, Those are the main three that I talk to the most. And you know, I always talk to Coach Grant. He always just call me randomly, ask me how I'm doing. All three of those guys, they just call randomly, and we just talk about the team here, my team where I'm at the time, and just catching up on a lot of things, and they get to help me a lot. It means a lot because it's like they got other kids here they could be worried about, but they still helping me and calling me and following me. So it's a great feeling. Anything that I miss about Dayton, just playing in front of the fans, man. 13,000 every game, like you don't get that everywhere. Like no matter who you play, you have to support. So I just feel like just playing in front of the fans, that was everything. They come to the games in the G League. I had a lot of fans actually come to a lot of my games. I can't remember where at though, but it's a lot of Dayton fans that always come, and when they come, they're gonna scream and shout my name, so everybody in the gym gonna know, like, Crutcher went to Dayton.